user. I'm also a very different kind of a person. So the views that I share on this channel, the things that you've heard me say, the videos I put out there, don't assume that those views are supported by those around me or that I support their views. I put people on this channel because I'm documenting what people are saying. It doesn't mean that we're a group or that I agree with what such and such says. There are certain individuals that I've featured on this YouTube channel where there's been some disagreement, and I don't feel the need to share that drama. But this is really a decentralized movement. It's not top-down.
So, I'm out gathering firewood, moving firewood from place to place, getting ready to split it. And I've got headphones in, listening to an ebook or an audiobook. The two sheriffs were standing there, and they honked on the car door, and they were both standing there, hands on their hips, outside of the truck, you know. Both, you know, they have both tasers and guns on them, I notice. In addition to the guy has pepper spray. I'm not sure about Colleen, but the guy had pepper spray, I'm sure. And I just go up, and Colleen introduces herself and says, "Do you have a right to be here?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got a building permit. My wife's getting it right now." And I go inside. Now, I've got disabled veteran plates on my truck, and I've got I was wearing at the time pants that I wore in Afghanistan and a shirt that I probably wore in Afghanistan. So they probably knew that I was, you know, a veteran. Which way do I want to turn here?
Take a right.
Okay. So, you know, they knew that I was a veteran probably, and the guy looked like he was getting really anxious because I didn't come back out of that car, or out of the trailer. He started really starting to eye the windows from what I was seeing. It's funny. I didn't go back out and talk to him, though. Chloe talked to him the whole time.
Espinoza was the county code enforcer. He told us that we were well within our rights. We asked him many, many questions to make sure that we were following the laws and everything else, so we didn't have any trouble. But our neighbor Timothy Liggett has since then wanted to possess our property, and I'm thinking that he has paid off the county attorney to sue us, and they have since, and now they're threatening, to throw my wife into jail if we do not remove everything from both of our properties, which we have two properties, 10 acres that are conjoined, and they are making us remove everything off of the one property, but they're taking the other piece of property as just an extra bonus for Mr. Leggett. And I believe that one, if not all of them, are in cahoots to give Mr. Leggett our property.
But talk more about the officer, the enforcement officer that came by with her hand on her gun.
Colleen Romero has, every time that she has come to our property, has had her gun unbuckled and had her hand on her gun the whole time that she was talking to us. And one time when she served my wife actually owns the property, and when she came out to serve the violation notice, she actually physically struck my wife in the shoulder because my wife refused to sign it without reading it first. And that's our God-given right, is to read what we're going to sign, what we agree to, what we don't agree to. If we're going to sign it, we have the right to read it. And she kept pushing my wife, saying, "Just sign it, just sign it. You don't need to read it." And my wife told her, "Look, I read everything that I sign." And then she procrastinated a little longer while she was reading it, and Colleen actually physically struck her.
What happened after that?
Then it just totally went downhill from there.
The other fellow that's terminally ill that I take care of, Gary, had his RV on my property also, and Mr. Leggett didn't know it, but see, coming on my property, photographing me at 2:30 in the morning while I'm going in a porta potty is like, I consider that invasion of my privacy and stuff.
Yeah.
But the sheriff didn't. And, you know, I've gone through 4 years of court about every 2 weeks. We just got fined. She got fined $18,000, and I got fined $18,000 of court costs. And now he's trying to take our land and put me in jail for 3 to 6 months. And I'll find out next week.
Yeah, I'm Vince Edwards. I'm here at the Costilla County Code Enforcement meeting, and it was kind of interesting, I have to say. One of the comments I do want to make is that the problem that we're facing here in this country and in this county is that most of the people just don't know their rights. And the fact of the matter is that our rights pre-exist the Constitution, it pre-existed the forming of this county, it pre-existed all of these regulations that they're trying to put together now. Every single warranty deed that I've ever looked at has the words fee simple on it. Fee simple means absolute unconditional use of your property. That means I don't have to pay taxes on it, I don't have to get permission to do anything, I just exercise my rights. The sheriffs are basically, the code enforcers are running around and they're fishing. They're going onto people's property. They came onto my property just asking questions. Do you have any permits or this and that? And I wasn't going to be bearing witness against myself. I said, do you have any kind of documentation whatsoever? They ran away. The next week they came back and they said, okay, well, now we're going to serve you a warning. I took it under duress, and now they're claiming to be able to serve me some sort of a summons. But the bottom line here is that these people are going on everybody's property with no probable cause warrant. And the fact of the matter is that any of these regulations, if you violate them, they're not crimes. They're violations of a commercial code, and they are not subject to a search warrant. They can't get any kind of a warrant unless there's probable cause that a crime has been committed, and that's how the law works. So, you know, what they're doing here is just absolutely ridiculous. And we have an epic opportunity. I want to tell everybody out there, we have an epic opportunity in this county right now to actually break off a whole chunk of Costilla County, because these sheriffs just went and pissed off a whole bunch of people all at once in the same local area, and they have one thing in common, and that's that they all want to be left alone. Okay, so we could basically break off from this county. We could elect a constitutional sheriff. I'm Vince Edwards. I'm running for your sheriff if we do have a new county, and my only job is to protect your rights, and as long as you do not violate the rights of somebody else, you're fine, and I have absolutely no jurisdiction, and I can't enforce no commercial codes on private property. And I think that's...
So what we're contemplating doing, a lot of our community members made a point that they shouldn't be able to do this to anyone. And then they're going to keep coming from us. People run to Costilla County. It's one of the poorest counties in the United States. People here live without utilities. They live without power. About the only thing the county does for them is grade roads. Houses that catch fire tend to burn all the way to the ground out here. And so I think that what we're preparing to do is take a stand. A lot of our community members were advocating it, and I've always been an incredibly peaceful person. I believed in working in the system, but I think we're there. We're talking about getting porta potties so that people have a responsible place to go, and the other logistics of it, how we're going to do food, and what we're going to be able to do to support people. But I think that there is no more appropriate place to take a stand than kitty corner from the house of the man who started all of this, the fire, and destroying these really kind and wonderful people's lives. So what we're going to be doing is discussing what we can do to support a movement. A lot of people have been talking about mass civil disobedience. Well, if you ever wanted to be a part of something in your life, this is it. We really need to stand up for our rights, or they're just going to keep coming for us until we don't have anything left. So I really hope that you guys will stand with me in this.
Excuse us.
Can I get a
They're not issuing camping permits. Okay. So we just wanted to check again. You guys still aren't doing it even though you guys have it posted?
It's posted, but we were instructed by the Board of County Commissioners and the County Attorney General under
Okay, so that came from the county commissioners and from the county attorney. They told you guys not to issue them anymore.
So for those of us that are living in RVs, are we doing something that could result in a ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How much that ticket gonna be?
Usually the ticket runs up to $100. If you go to court, it could be more.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much. I've got a thing that I need to put on the agenda, and yeah, honestly, it's nothing personal. It's just people are trying not to be homeless before winter is all. So, yeah, we'll take care, man. Matthew, have a good day. All right, bye, Tara. Well, what you just told us was the county commissioners and the county attorney, Edward Lobato, instructed him not to issue camping permits anymore. So he isn't. And so I think the next thing that I need to do is contact the administrative officer to put that as an agenda at the next county commissioners meeting, which would be on the first Tuesday of October. And then as a community we should talk about that because it's apparently causing a lot of problems. So yeah, I'll give Ben Dune a call later today because I actually asked him to look into the legalities in a phone call yesterday of them not issuing the permits that they have posted, because essentially what's in the land use code is law right now, is what we're being told. And they're telling them to change the laws or to enforce the laws differently without changing the laws as they're stated on the books, and that's making it really difficult for a lot of us to plan our lives.
So he's basically saying we're criminals now.
Yep,
like
essentially, yep. Just because we're camping in an RV.
Because we're living in an RV and our own property instead of paying $400 a month to stay in an RV park. That's really the only material difference.
Before we move forward, I guess I would just like to say that the board will not hear any public comment today in regards to any potential changes to the land use code. Okay? The Planning Commission needs to vote and make formal recommendation for revisions to the code, and the Land Use Administrator will present recommendations to the board before we consider any changes to the code. The public will be allowed time for public comment and time for any written comments during that public hearing. Okay. If the board were to hear any formal recommendations or any issues today regarding the code, it is considered ex parte communication and it will not be considered. Okay?
You need to move too. Go fuck yourself. You need to leave. What? What? You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? Turn around. For what? Turn around. Obstructing the operation. Turn around.
For what?
Turn around.
Why are you
Turn around. Turn around. Or you're going to get tased. Turn around or you're going to get tased. Turn around. Turn around.
Because the cops are mad and they can just do whatever the hell they want, they think.
For what? For standing here.
Obstructing.
Hey, I got you, dude. I got you on film.
Disorderly conduct.
How are you investigating anything?
Let's go. Move out. Who's next?
Hold on. Let me twist it up.
Hold on. I'm trying to get it right.
Hey, reach in my pocket right here and grab my knife. Or
yeah, you're not going into the fucking pocket. Let's go.
Yeah.
You ain't got, you ain't got to cuss at me, bro.
Let's go.
I didn't
go next. Let's go.
Did I cuss at you?
Let's go.
Why are you
go.
gonna, hey, don't fucking push me, dog.
Yeah, we got him. They were like, y'all shouldn't sit in here because the dog. I was like, so you can't train your dog well enough to not attack civilians?
Don't worry, we sweated him out.
You put UD on it, man.
What is it?
Under duress.
We ended up signing under duress.
You put UD on it from now on.
Wait, what happened?
That's illegal to make them do that.
To make him sign?
Yeah.
Did they make you sign?
What's the charge?
To get him off of your back.
And I was citing a riot.
So
Wow, you were
really?
probably the first.
Well, I sure as hell ain't following you into battle if that was inciting a riot. Imagine what you mean to in charge.
They did. Hey, we got that Rodriguez inciting. We got him assaulting people, like yelling. He pushed me 4 or 5 times. We got him on like 5 cameras.
If anything comes to these deputies or cops or any way, shape, or form, I'm going to be charged with a felony. So
they're trying to
we
like
need to turn
blackmail
it
it.
back a notch.
Whoa, wait a minute. They're saying if anything happens, if any of us, anyone else,
if anybody else has anything to do with any of their deputies or anything getting injured, I'm going to be served a felony.
That's a felony right there. That's
Wait,
blackmail.
they just black. Yeah, they can't.
That is a class three felony. That is a class 3 felony. They cannot do that.
I think somebody better get this man a lawyer.
That's a fucking felony.
The same dude that arrested your father put his hands on this one right
That
here.
is illegal.
That's fucking blackmail.
Hey guys, you know, I hate to bring this up, but we are standing right by the cop shop talking to shit. We shouldn't be here.
I can't feel my hand is all
How can he be responsible for everybody else in the valley?
They're trying to blackmail it to where nothing happens to them for like pushing people around.
This is amazing.
This isn't against the cops. This is against the county.
Yeah.
They're against the county for doing, you know, the stuff that's incorrect. You know, it's not against the cops, but like he said, you know, this
No,
is...
they made it that way when they arrested you and when they started pushing people around. I mean, they turned it into that.
I just was talking to
They pushed me around, cussed at me, they arrested him.
Yeah.
Like,
courtroom, that was Officer
I'm going, and that's what I'm saying, because Rodriguez knew I was going to, so he's trying to blackmail it with him, and that's
This is why we just need our own county, okay? Look, if they don't like us, fine. We'll just have our own county. Look.
Like, honestly, like, he
And if they want to stop us there, then we'll just take this one.
We can start a petition for our own county.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, honestly, like, you could take...
Everybody else can cry about all they want.
Oh, it's public land, they can't do it, they can't.
That doesn't matter. They put him in jail and they couldn't do it too, right? Okay, rest my case.
Yeah, we told
the
For real sake, we just gotta really honestly watch what we say, because you're under the thumb right now. So that's what we really gotta pay attention to what's going on.
Like, blackmail's bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's all bullshit.
Honestly, they should be charged. Like, if it was me, I would take the risk. I would charge them with blackmail. That's bullshit.
It's all bullshit. But for like these few, you know, very crucial hours, we just gotta be careful because this.
All I'm saying is he's got like 50 witnesses that he.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
that's
it's
right.
not gonna go anywhere.
Anyway, my name's Michael. I've been a Colorado native for a long time. I got pushed out once before. I know what it's like to get pushed out. I know these people here are worried about me moving in here. But the fact is if you don't let me move in and you put in these permits that don't allow me to build my house as I go, the people that are going to be moving in here are going to be people with lots and lots of money, and they're going to be here maybe 2-3 months out of the year. And, you know, I don't know what kind of culture that is, but whatever. I know that I'm going to try and hang on to it. I try to bleed into wherever I am because it's a good way to be. I don't want to change the way things are here. I like the way they are here. That's why I came here. So anyway, to the people of San Luis Valley and Costilla County, you know, I love you, man. I think this place is great, and I just want to be here. I want to raise my children here, and I want to have a good time here, and maybe kick back a few beers and enjoy the view. You know, that's what I want to do. And you know, if that's a crime in America, I guess it's a crime. But you know, so be it. Peace out. Love y'all.
I'm looking at the land use code. I've been reviewing it for, days on end now. And we just want to talk about a few misconceptions on the land use code, especially some of the accusations being made that us desert dwellers out here, quote unquote, are just out here disregarding the land use code. And we just want to violate it. We're just lawless people out here, right? So we've had people getting charged, getting told to remove rubbish, junk, trash, weeds, and brush of that nature. In the land use code currently, when we go to section 8.2, I believe, 8.2 refers to the authority to enforce, what the Costilla County Board has the authority to enforce. You can see here highlighted in pink is the removal of rubbish, junk, weeds, and brush or unsafe structures. This is a proposed land use code that is currently not adopted. Everything not in pink is the current land use code. So them just going around handing out violations and then summoning people to court and actually giving them charges for non-compliant violations to remove rubbish, junk, weeds, brush, or unsafe structures is actually unlawful according to their very own code. When we talk about the RVs, camping in RVs, staying in RVs, where we are particularly is a state residential, so I'll speak about that. What they have in here in section 5.3, I believe, let me verify that. Yeah, 5.3, review criteria for permits. It does state that we can only use an RV for a temporary dwelling for travel, recreation, or vacation use. and we can only be on any particular parcel for 14 days during any consecutive 3-month period. They do have a camping permit currently being, like on the books. It's $100 for 90 days. Since June, they haven't sold these. They're trying to get people to move out of these areas. They're not letting them camp while they build, even if they're willing to pay for it. So it's not that we're not trying to abide by the county use code. It's that we're really just being made to be lawbreakers. They won't allow us to abide by the land use code out here.
So I came out here in 2013, or at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, January 2014. I bought the property with my tax return from 2013's taxes. I spent that whole year looking at this place from space, learning about the valley, learning about the area. I know my internet tower is right there between those mountains. I know my water depth is 160 feet based on the Colorado Aquamap. You know, it wasn't just a overnight impulsive, stupid stoner thing to come out here. I spent months of time and energy and research plotting everything, what kind of buildings I'm going to build, dreaming about it, thinking about this place. This place was in my heart and mind constantly for a whole year. Then I got here. You know, I can't even describe the moment I first set foot on this property and I found it. It wasn't just a plot map anymore. It was real. I was able to find the markers all the way down the block and know that this one is mine. You know, I had to buy this RV. I had to bring it up over Wolf's Creek Pass in the middle of January. Lots of hardships. In these little compartments, I had all of our family heirlooms, like what little we were able to save from my house, which was repossessed by the bank because of a family feud. And, you know, this place means everything to me. To be threatened like we were today, saying that they're going to run us out, and that if they have more entitlement to it. Look around. I don't see any of those locals' houses anywhere near here. This is mine, not theirs. Not for a minute is it ever anybody's but mine. If they had the chance, they had 30, 40 million years to buy this land. Nobody bought it. It was my money, my sweat, my blood. This is where I'm going to build my house. I started working on it. I had to move into an apartment. But this is where it's going to be. I spent years thinking about it, putting my energy into this. Nothing's going to run me out of town. This is how beautiful this place is. I just picked up this agate right off the ground. There are millions of them out here. They formed in that mountain. I know this because you could walk up to that mountain and you'll see what looks like a wash pattern. And there are thousands of these fire agates everywhere here. You know, this place is special. It's not, and it's mine. It belongs to me.
Yes, I was at the last county commissioners meeting. It was actually on a whim when they asked for the public comment period that I went up there, because it's something I keep hearing over and over on the period. You know, I have nowhere to go, I have nowhere to go, I have nowhere to go, what do I do? So I basically just pleaded with them to allow us to remain on site for the rest of the winter while we come up with a set of standards on how possibly these camping permits could be allowed on a more frequent basis is all. You know, just have a heart, don't kick people out before winter, and let's address the issue over the winter. Basically.
So you're in a state of movement, kind of. Like, it's not really determined where you're going to be in, like, say, a week or so.
No, I'm mobile now. I can't really make plans for more than a few days in advance because I just don't know. And with winter now coming, I can only imagine the blizzards and the slush I'll be taking these trailers through. It's not going to be easy. This is what I have to do to remain within the codes. Is put my life at risk, basically.
And you have land here, right?
I do. I bought it back in 2012. I've paid my taxes every year. I don't really know what else I can do, you know?
There was a story that happened, I think it was like August 28th, maybe 29th, somewhere up in that general area. I got a call from the Costilla County Sheriff. He never gave me his name, but he asked me if I could meet him up around 5 o'clock in the evening to talk about some burglaries that had happened out in the county.
And how did he get your number?
That I do not know. It was just totally out of the blue. When I got there at 5, he then asked me if I got a phone call from him again asking if I could wait a little bit. He said he was running behind By the time he actually interviewed me, it was close to 10 o'clock.
And where exactly did this interview take place?
This took place at the Costilla County Sheriff's Office, the main building where the jail and everything is in downtown San Luis, Colorado. And I went in. I had a small kitten with me at the time. Because it had taken so long for this interview to go on, I had asked if it'd be okay to take the kitten inside, and the kitten was extremely hungry at the time. So I sat down with this sheriff, and come to find out that he didn't even want to talk about any burglaries out there at all. There was just no mention of that at all. He then started asking me questions about people that were living out there in that area. Now, at that time, I didn't even know there was any land disputes or what do they call it? Any disputes with the codes and stuff like that. And this was the first time I became aware of any of that kind of stuff going on. He then said to me that he needed somebody to act as an eyes or ears for the Costilla County Sheriff's Department. He said I could either cooperate with him on this, or he kind of hinted in a such and such way. He even was doing this little thing. He said, you could end up getting pulled over and arrested. Why, it would be a shame to pull you over and find drugs in your vehicle. And he said that he wanted me to keep an eye on it, eyes and ears open on any of the activities going on out there. Apparently at that time there were rumors of off-gridders with guns, off-gridders threatening they were going to shoot any officials. There was even stories going as far as the off-gridders got hand grenades and stockpiles of weapons, and they're going to come down here and start shooting up the town. And he just wanted me to be his eyes and ears and report to him of anything that was going on down there.
Any square feet?
Yeah, they said, you know, I'm living out here in a dwelling less than 600 square feet. However, it's documented, it's been on the tax rolls since 1999. Now he's telling me, well, you better make sure they pulled a permit. Well, did they have to have a permit in 1999? Because it was built according to the building codes in effect in 1999. Now, it's a violation of federal law to make an ex post facto or de facto law. If that thing was legal by the building codes of 1999, it's legal today. You don't have to have a retroactive permit. So his saying that this is an unpermitted structure is a charge that does not hold water, especially since it's been here for 16 years now, and there's never been any other citation on it saying that it needed a permit.
And what they're doing is illegally coming on the property. You have your property line clearly
right,
on
he
display
clearly came on my property illegally. I told him that if he came back on my property, please have a warrant. He said he'd have a warrant unless he has to enforce building codes. Well, he's got no building codes to enforce, and he has no authority to come on my property to enforce any building code without a warrant. Well, I've got that display case over there. Bronze Star, Air Medal, 2 Purple Hearts, all the rest of them, they're all, and everything. Most of those I had before I was 21 years old. I put my life on the line defending the rights to have to my property, to my life. And I have that right to have an honest and corruption-free government. And this just ain't happening. So you tell me, you give me the answers. Used to be those things over there meant something. All it means today is I'm a probable domestic terrorist. And that's what you just saying about painting us as terrorists. What makes me a terrorist? Is it because I believe that my oath to the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, is real? Is it because I want that type of government that will exist in this country? Is it because I want the rights of freedom and liberty that veterans and patriots have shed their blood defending for generation after generation? Are we to give that shit away now? I mean, Lord, It was bad enough, went to Vietnam, we won the battles on the battlefield for the most part, and then Henry Kissinger turned around and gave everything away we'd fought for at the Paris Peace Accords. So what are we doing now? We're getting to the point where they're trying to take everything away again. Only this time, it's the U.S. citizen.
Hey, $350 billion over 10 years to the militarization of the American police force. It's working.
So there we go. Yeah, those
Chloe, can you do me a favor?
Those are worse than I thought
Just
they
hold
were.
it for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, like I've been saying, who's been following the events taking place in Costilla County, and I would like to extend my gratitude to everybody who gives a damn about their own safety, their own security, their own rights, and the rights of everybody involved, which is the entire world. And did you have anything to add?
Dangerous than
Thank you so much also.
Yep.
I'm really grateful to all of you too. We've really started going through something here, and it started just as a small land use issue, and now it's really turning into a pretty big thing about human rights. So I'm more grateful than I can possibly say to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Hiram, for all of. I mean, thank you all. Like, thank everybody out here. Yes.
Today in Costilla County, it's nearly impossible to live on your own land with an RV, with a structure less than 600 square feet, or to live on your property without a septic that the county is recommending and suggesting. It should also be noted that this off-the-grid community was infiltrated by an individual that is a lot like the individuals that went to Burns, Oregon, and he was not known to be a Costilla County resident, but Roger Marsh appeared out of nowhere, a more radical version of Eamon Bundy. Roger Marsh was removed from the situation. He came up with warrants, just like a lot of the guys in Burns, Oregon, had criminal histories. A false superior judge, self-appointed judge by the name of Bruce Doucette, who also was involved in Burns, Oregon, has been spending, still to this day, a great deal of time in Costilla County Facebook pages, trying to convince local residents that attempting to arrest public officials is the way to go, which is only marginalizing off-the-gridders as extremists, which is the opposite of what we wanted. Today, the issue with Costilla County is completely unresolved, and higher courts have not stepped in.
You pull yourself up, they keep bringing you down. Are they gonna bail you out or just run you around? They said you should have a house the American way. $1 down, $1 a month, and you'll never have to pay. There's a better way to do this. Let me show you a better way.